And we are here, the only Resident Evil Let's Play for this volume of Ronan Games. Yeah, I'll speak a little more on that in a moment because we got cutscenes to shut up for.
Hey, baby! I just wanted to send a quick hello and I love you. Oh, good news. I'm gonna be coming home soon. Yay! Oh, I cannot wait to be done with this babysitting job and come home to my loving husband. I miss you. Oh, I gotta get back to work. I love you, Ethan. I miss you so much. I'm sending tons of kisses. Bye, baby.
Ethan. You were right. I did lie to you. I shouldn't have. All I can say is that if you get this, stay away.
Hello?
Hey, it's Ethan.
Oh, hey. You alright? You just disappeared the other night.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. It's Mia. She's not dead, she's alive. She's back.
They found her? How? What happened?
I don't know. Look, I don't know how, but she's back. She's back somehow. Maybe it's a prank, but she wants me to come and get her.
Where is she?
Dulvey, Louisiana.
Dude, it's been 3 years.
I know, but what if it is her? I have to find out what happened.
So, what I was going to say is, originally I was supposed to do Dot Hack Volume 2 for this Let's Play, but I'm kind of burned out of doing those videos by this point because I had just done a full Let's Play of it, of the first volume. So I kind of just deleted it all. If I ever want to do a Let's Play of it, I'll just replay the game. It's not that big a deal. But yeah, we are here with RE7. So what are my thoughts on this? I've been a little, and by a little I mean really vocal, about how much of a mess I think this game is compared to the games that have come out after, with the exception of RE3 Remake, which is an even bigger mess than this one. When I say mess, I don't mean like it's broken or anything like that. I more so mean it's a mix of really good ideas and really bad ideas. And some of the bad ideas are annoying, while other bad ideas make the game a little more fun, actually. One bad idea is that Ethan's block pretty much negates almost all the damage taken from hits. You could get hit by a boss and take like 2% health damage, like damage to your health, you know. And on paper it sounds like a bad idea, but in the game it's funny. It's something I actually love about the game, but on paper it sounds like a bad idea, you know. But then there's the lack of variety in the molded, which is definitely a bad idea, and that's more on the annoying side. But we'll get to that when we get to that. I mean, it's not as annoying as it could be, because here's the thing. Coming back to this game, I kind of realized that the molded aren't as present as I remembered them being. Like, they're still here a lot, but it's like you fight less of them than I remembered. So the variety is a little less. The lack of variety is a little less of a problem than I was remembering every time I brought that up. I think I only brought it up once or twice in video, but I've talked about it a lot with friends and such. How, like, the enemy variety in this game, like, sucks, and, like, it's probably the most creatively bankrupt in terms of enemy design out of the series. Which kind of sucks, because the molded in themselves look pretty cool. It's just that they could have done more with them, and they didn't. Like, they could have added at least one more molded type. And I think we would have had the perfect variety. Because like I said, they're not used much. It would have been an easy problem to fix. All we needed was like 1 or 2 more molded types. I'm leaning more on the side of 1 more molded type because by the time you start fighting a lot of molded, the game's almost over. This is also my second fastest run of the game too, so we're going through pretty quickly. The one thing that's going to slow us down is I am playing the videotapes for, you know, Let's Play reasons. But I do have a run of this game where I beat it in like 3.5 hours. I didn't record it though because I wanted my Let's Play to just be like a Let's Play and not a speed run. But I did do a speed run in this game. It was pretty fun. Oh, and here we are. We are in the shoes of Clancy, who would have been a way better protagonist than Ethan. Fight me on that. I will literally die on that hill. Clancy would have been a better protagonist than Ethan. I like Ethan in Village, and in retrospect, we wouldn't have gotten Ethan in Village if Clancy was the protagonist here. But Clancy has more personality. If you play like some of the DLCs and like the 2 videotapes involving him, he has more personality than Ethan does. So it would have been a better protagonist. Anyway. I mean, it's not much more personality, but it's enough more to, like, you know, like Clancy. With Ethan, I kind of don't feel anything for the guy in this game. He is literally a walking brick with a gun. That is what he is. That's why they don't want to. That's why they don't want to show us his face. His face is just a brick. That's my headcanon. Do with it what you will. I'm joking. I'm just being goofy. So you might have saw at the beginning of this tape, I backed up and grabbed a lockpick. That was for a reason. We are going to use this lockpick to unlock a drawer in this room. And in the future, when we go back to this room with Ethan, there's going to be an antique coin. This is probably the easiest antique coin in the game to miss. I don't get all of them in this Let's Play because I was kind of playing this really casually. I had not played Resident Evil 7 in like 2 or 3 years at the time I was playing this Let's Play, like the gameplay here, you know, for this run. But it was my first run in like 2 or 3 years, so I was kind of just doing a casual playthrough of it for the Let's Play before I went about actually trying to get stuff. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the Not a Hero and End of Zoe DLC yet. I'm kind of back and forth on that because like part of me wants to have them for the Let's Play content, but another part of me just doesn't feel like doing it. Like I feel like the main game was enough. Plus, I already have like way too many Resident Evil videos on this channel. It is probably the most played game series on this channel, with Sonic being a close second. So that's kind of why I'm like easing up on the Let's Plays of it, because I want to have a little more Let's Play variety. That's why this will be the only Resident Evil Let's Play this season, and then next season I'll probably do the Revelations games or something, or RE1. I'm leaning more towards RE1 Remake because it's the only remake I haven't done yet, and it's probably my 3rd favorite remake, which isn't saying much because 3 Remake sucks, so of course it's better than that. If you don't know, the way I would rank the remakes is RE2 is the best one, in my opinion. I like it the most. Okay, keep in mind, I never played the original versions of 2, 3, and 4. I played the original version of 1, did not enjoy it that much, but I never played the original versions of 2, 3, and 4. So, this is just judging them as standalone games, kinda. I like 2 Remake the most, then 4 Remake, then 1, and then 3. I have a bad feeling 5 is going to be either beneath 3 or sandwiched between 3 and 1. I have really high doubts it's going to be 1 Remake, because even though like 1 Remake is right above 3 Remake, it's just because there's no games in between those levels of quality. Because 1 Remake is still a really good game. Like, I wouldn't say it's close to RE4 and RE2 levels of good, but like, it's in my top 5 of the series for a reason. I think I've said this before. My top 5 goes RE2 Remake, RE4 Remake, RE Village, RE Revelations 2, and RE1 Remake. I go back and forth on if I put Village or Revelations 2 higher, but for the most part, that's pretty much my top 5 in order from highest to lowest. I also enjoy RE7, obviously. I wouldn't be doing a Let's Play of it if I didn't. In fact, this Let's Play, fun fact, this Let's Play was actually supposed to happen for Volume 5 of Rolling On Games. My original plan was to do Revelations 2 here. And currently my plans for the RE series is to at least do Revelations 2 and 1 Remake at one point. I don't know if I'm going to play Revelations 1. Revelations 1 is just if, like, I really want to.
Jesus.
You know, because I really love a lot of things about Revelations 1, but it's the least replayable of the RE games I enjoy, in my opinion. 7 is the second least replayable, but the difference with 7 is that, like, if you could look past the unskippable cutscenes, it's alright. It's alright to replay, and it actually has unlockables that make it worth it, so Revelations is kind of a mixed bag for me. I really love it in terms of, like, its setting. I like the way some of its characters, like, particularly Jill and Chris are written. I like the bosses. I like the enemies. The only reason I don't go back to it much is it's just because it's aged. It's the same reason I don't go back to RE1 that much, RE1 Remake that much, even though it's in my top 5. I don't go back to it much for that same reason. They both have, like, some pretty aged gameplay. So it's, like, a little more rough to go back to them, but when I do go back to them, I really love them. They do a lot of things right with that rough, outdated gameplay. So, it's like, what's a good comparison here? So, like, RE2 Remake and RE4 Remake and Village and Revelations 2, and even RE7 to a degree, they all have really good controls. In fact, I might have a bias here, but I think Revelations 2 might have the best control in the series to me. Except for the sprint. The sprint in that game's a little jank, but, like, in terms of aiming and, like, regular walking and stuff like that, like, literally, the only jank thing in Rev 2 was just the weird sprint. But aside from that, it's got probably some of the best controls in the series. Probably not the best. I think I kind of over-exaggerated there. It's got the best if you don't count remakes. Because I do think it controls better than Village and 7 outside of the weird sprint again. Because, again, that game has a pretty jank sprint. But I think 4 and 2 Remake both control better. In fact, I actually watched a video on this, and after I saw it, I was kind of like, damn, they're kind of right. The way the remakes are being treated is kind of like, and I know I'm talking over cutscene here, I don't care. I don't give a fuck about Mia here. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I like Mia in Village similar to Ethan, but in this game, I hate her. I really hate her. The only reason we're gonna save her later is because it's the canon ending, and I want to get the canon ending for the Let's Play. And because it shaves off time. If you choose to save Zoe, that's like an extra 10-15 minutes of gameplay because you gotta fight Mia again. But,
Where are you taking me?
what was I saying?
Are you gonna tell me what's going on? Baby.
I watched this video, like, about a year ago about someone saying that like, Capcom's trying to recreate what they did with Revelations 2. Because when you think about it, Revelations 2 was probably the best designed non-remake game in the franchise, and still somewhat is in some places. I would argue there are some things that are better designed in Village, but I do think Rev 2 is better designed than 7. And I do think it's better designed than RE5 and 6 by a long shot, and Rev 1. Revelations 2 feels like they took like Rev 1 and like mixed it with some aspects of the original RE4, but gave it like a modern control scheme. That's kind of what it feels like. And I know when I say like RE4, you're probably like, that's a modern control scheme. No, it is not. The original RE4 is tank controls. Which is something that Rev 1 did. Rev 1 actually borrowed the formula for the original RE4 in a lot of ways. Its aim is a little better than the original RE4, and it's got a reticle, but for the most part, it's the same. Like, you're on tank controls in Rev 2. It's a design choice I actually kind of like. I don't mind tank controls and fixed camera angles. I think I've complained about them before, but like, don't get it twisted. Individually, they work. And I think the use of tank controls in Revelations and the use of fixed camera angles in RE1 Remake are done really well. The games are designed really well around them. But, and here's the but, I have played Code Veronica in the original RE1. And when they're mixed, holy shit, do they not complement each other. Not at all. It feels like they're actually actively fighting against each other in a way, which is funny. Because a lot of classic RE stands will just be like, oh, well, you're not playing RE1 Remake right if you use analog control. Even though, what they don't realize is most people who play RE1 for the first time these days will be more used to modern controls. And the easiest way to get past the camera angles is to use the modern control option. Because trust me, the camera angles are not that bad. Not by a long shot. It's the tank controls you're going to fight against. But yeah. I want to like finish up what I was saying about Revelations 2 real quick before we get to this little seed here in a moment. I watched a video where they were like, where someone was explaining that Capcom seems like they're trying to recapture what they did with Rev 2. And when you look at details in the remakes of 2 and 4, and even some stuff in Village, it kind of becomes obvious because stuff in those 3 games are borrowed from Rev 2 quite a bit. Like, okay, well, it's most obvious in RE4 Remake, but there are a couple details in 2 Remake and Village that feel like they're borrowing from Rev 2. Village in particular actually feels like it's a mesh of RE4 and Rev 2 details all over the place. And I'll get to that in a bit, but we got a moment here. Okay, fine. I won't go down the stairs. Jeez, I'm sorry. What the fuck is down there that you all wanted me going back down the stairs? Like, I saw what was down there. And you want me to stay from going down there? There ain't nothing dangerous down there. Except your ugly ass. Like, get out of my face here. No, you. Put the knife down. Put the knife down. Bad Mia.
I can hear her. I can feel her clawing her way back inside me. Get out!
That's right. Slam your head like an idiot.
Alone.
I don't give a fuck. I don't even know why we're here saving her. She's like fucking... I already talked about how I can't stand Mia in this game. I really can't. Like, in Village, I like her because, like, you get to see more of her redeeming qualities there. But, like, here, And it's not even just when she's controlled. The stuff you learn about, like, what Mia was up to and all that, and how this all began, it paints her in a really bad light. It really does. And, like, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but she is really not a likable person. She might be a likable character, but as a person, she's like, yeah, no. I don't know why I picked up the phone here. Okay, something I didn't realize here, but I found out later, though, is there's a certain thing that triggers Mia jumping back up, and that's kind of what I was looking for. And I did do the thing that triggers it. I guess I just didn't walk over her right. Which is weird, because that's the only time that's ever happened to me. The thing you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go to the end of the hall and try to open the locked door. And then walk back, and she's supposed to spring up the first time you walk over her. But for some reason, also, that healing item I used, that was by accident. That was me getting... I'm still getting used to the controls at this moment. But, like... What was I saying? I was saying that, you gotta go to the end of the hall, try to open that locked door, and then walk back. And she's supposed to spring up the first time you walk over her. But for some reason, she didn't do it here. I walked over her, she didn't spring up, so I picked up the phone, because you do get a phone call here. So I was like, do I gotta pick up the phone or something? But that wasn't it. Then I walked back over her, she still didn't spring up. I turned around, and she finally sprung up. I was like, what the hell? That don't usually happen. At least not for me. It might happen for other people, but that's never happened for me. Usually she springs up the first time if I tried to open that door. And we got a phone call. Domino's, can I take your order?
What the fuck is going on?
No, we don't serve that here. Yeah, sorry, we're fresh out of that, Zoe. Yeah, you have to call a different Domino's. We don't serve that here. Sorry. And some people not knowing what the fuck we sell. This is a pizza place, not a weed place. I'm kidding. I'm just being a goof. So now what we gotta do? We gotta go over here and use the bolt cutters. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, remember these, because they get used in every RE game now. I don't know if they're used... I don't remember if they're used in 4 Remake. They might not be. But they were used in 2 Remake, 3 Remake, and Village. This is Capcom reusing assets. Which, honestly, they're not new to. And honestly, I don't mind it, really, because if the gameplay is good, and the game looks good, and, like, it's fun, and scary, spooky, all that stuff, like, if it's just a good overall RE experience, I don't mind them reusing assets. And the RE engine isn't even where they started doing that, because if you look back, they used the same herb assets from RE4 all the way to, like, the original RE4, all the way up to Rev 2. If you look at the herbs in those games, the only difference is, like, how many polygons they are. You know, like, they literally look the same. Across 10 years of RE games, the herb design looks exactly the same. And I don't know if it's because of the engine they were using, which I don't think it is, because I think they swapped engines in the late 2000s, and that's the engine they used from, like, RE5 to Rev 2. But I could be wrong. I don't remember. I know the RE engine was developed for RE7, and that's what they use since, and it is the best engine they've used for the series so far. But they used one engine for, like, RE4, the Rev games, and the port of RE1 Remake for modern consoles at the time. I say at the time because there isn't a PS5 version of Oh, by the way, get used to this because I don't feel like cutting it, but whenever we get to a save point, there's going to just be a screen freeze there. Because for some reason, the save thing don't pop up in game like it does in the other games. And it isn't even just a thing they started doing after this either, because like, yeah, they did it in RE2, RE3, RE4, and Village and all that.
Fine.
But that's the thing they did before 7 too, so I don't know why it's 7 in particular. It takes you straight to the save menu of your console, like PS3 games did, instead of taking you to an in-game save menu, like every game since, and even like some older games like the RE1 remake do. The Revelations games save automatically. They don't have like a manual save system. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, back on the topic I was on earlier about, sorry if you heard me moving the mic, I had to fix it. But back on the topic of like them reusing ideas or like being inspired somewhat by Rev 2 for Village and even RE4. Let me go into detail on that a little bit. What do I mean by that? Well, the RE4 part is a little easier to explain because they do more of that kind of stuff. Like the inventory is used from 4. They got a castle like RE4. They got a village like RE4. You know, it's obvious stuff like that. With Rev 2, it's a little more subtle. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm trying to think of what the mechanics that were brought up in that video even were, but like, they didn't mention Village, but I did notice like a couple things in Village being similar. Village has, how do I put this? They use a couple like, I wish I did a recent. I did a run of Village back in like February, and I wish my run of it was more recent because I would be able to explain this better. I know there are moments in the game that are very Rev 2-esque, but I just can't recall them at the moment. I'm actually struggling. Actually, but something did just come to mind though. There's something in the Not a Hero DLC that was first done in Rev 2. Actually, the idea as a whole was done in Rev 2, and that's there being poisonous gas in the mines. The games just kind of handle it different. In Rev 2, you just have to run to like an area with clear air as fast as possible, or you're gonna die. Which is a little more difficult, but also a little more like satisfying to do. In a way, because when you survive, it just feels good. And Not a Hero, you get a mask for it. I think at first it kind of works like the way Rev 2 does, but you get a mask for it before you deal with it too much. So that's really the difference there. Another thing, like, I can actually name quite a list of things that 7 borrows from the Revelations games. The molded in particular actually remind me a lot of the ooze. I know they weren't designed to be like the ooze. They were actually designed like, if I remember correctly, the devs like taking images of like meat and stuff. I don't remember, but it's something like that. So I know they're not like based off the ooze, but they have some really similar things. They're the jank way they walk, and when I say jank, I don't mean like in a bad way. I more so mean they walk weird. The weird way they walk, them being basically an almost featureless humanoid creature. The fact there's a similar number of variants of them. If you don't know what the ooze is, that was the main enemies in Red 1. There were these gray-colored enemies who kind of... They kind of look like the molded. I ain't even gonna lie. Just with less detail. They have these big tongues that hang out and shit. But yeah, the molded kind of remind me of them. And although I don't think they like meant to borrow any ideas from from the Ooze when they were making the molded, it's just like a circumstance of, oh, they were similar. But then, not only that, as I previously mentioned, the Not a Hero DLC borrows the poisonous mind gas mechanic from Rev 2. There's a ship segment in this game, which Revelations 1 did first and better, in my opinion. There's a child BOW in this game, like Rev 2. I mean, okay, it's a little different here, because in Rev 2, that child BOW was made as a vessel for Alex Wesker, spoiler alert, and is a hero character, technically. But in this game, well, it's Evie, and we all know what Evie is. Natalia, you are not Evie. Natalia was a better character. I've already mentioned before, I don't care for child characters a lot in any sort of media. If they're under the age of, like, 14, I'm probably not going to care about them. There are very few exceptions. I gotta emphasize, very few. Like Natalia from Rev 2. Or Clementine from the Walking Dead games. I know she's older in the later 2 seasons, but she's 11 and 8 respectively in the first 2 games. So, yeah. There are very few exceptions where I do like a child character. I do think they're good characters and stuff. But it's usually when they're not treated as child characters in a way. I mean, Natalia is treated like a child by Barry a little bit, but like I more so mean like they're not stupid, they're not rude, they're not annoying like children typically are. You know? Oh, hi guys. Hey, that's very rude, Lucas. Yeah, you get him, Jack. You don't throw food at me, bitch. I'm motherfucking Ethan Winters, bitch. My face is a brick, bitch. Yes, I'm bringing that joke back up. Deal with it. My face is a brick. My arms are steel. And I'm not even joking about that last part either. Like, I've already mentioned how, like, the block in this game negates, like, 75% of damage taken. It is ridiculous. Literally, this man Jack right here carries a shovel, and we're gonna see him do that in a little bit. And he can literally hit you with that shovel as hard as he can, and your blocks almost all the damage. It is hilarious. Unfortunately, that's something for the next video, because I did have to end off the video at about this point. I don't remember what I do for the rest of the video, because we got about a minute or 2 left. So I obviously do something. I just don't remember what. Oh, fun fact. I didn't realize it in this run, and I never even realized it before this point, or before, like, it was the run after this I actually noticed it, but there actually is a hiding place in the room with the trap door. I don't really show it off in this Let's Play because, well, like I said, I actually figured it out after this run. I never even knew it was there before. Even though I've played this game several times in the past, I still never knew it was there. I never bothered to hide there. But it's there. Oh, I guess we do do something here, because we do activate Jack. Okay, so the hiding space I'm talking about, because I know I'm going back to that room. Okay, grab the herb real quick. So for some reason I hide here, but to my right, there's actually a space where if I hid, Jack would have came in here, looked around, and then walked back out. It's to my left now. You see that corner right there with all the junk? You could actually hide behind that. But I am going to be ending out the video here, so bye.